Yes. Yes, I'm aware of it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes. I'm aware of lagging behind, of a time lag. Now, that isn't to say that I haven't just alighted on this wonderful piece. I've had it for some time. And, I suppose I've been looking at it and I've actually reviewed it. I've reviewed the music inside this phenomenal box for a magazine I write for. And, I just thought, seeing it among the myriad of things that have been sent to me, or that do get sent to me. Look at that, bit thin on top there, look at that. Been to the gym, you see, first time for 2 weeks. I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise going back to the gym after 2 weeks. I'd advise just leaving yourself to have a sedentary life and being happy that you're not going to the gym. Not going to the gym. Anyway, I've been, and that feels good. I'm going to arrange my hair. And this tash as well tends to fall when I'm in the gym. Anyway, without further ado, let me talk about this marvellous box, which has been out for a while. I know. And the reason why I'm glad to see it, and I have my hand on it here, there it is because it's an overlooked period. And the singer involved, I think, is also kind of overlooked. And when he's talked about now, when he's interviewed now, he's got a singularity of equanimity. Singularity of equanimity. You're right. You're right. It is an extraordinary phrase. And he does. He's happy in himself, and that's beautiful. He's got his own music out, and, you know, he regards this as being some kind of big event. It's a massive event. To come from really nowhere to helming Black Sabbath. I am, of course, talking about the cat, Tony Martin. And the albums that he was involved in, I think, are overlooked. And I really like, not all of them, but I like some of them very much, particularly Forbidden. And I think one of the reasons, yes, I like Forbidden. Yes. Now, there is a box set that's out, and it's been out for a while, and it's called Anno Domini. And it has, as you can see here, the albums in question. So we have all of the Tony, the cat, Martin albums. So you've got Headless Cross, you've got TYR here, Tia. You've got Cross Purposes, you have Forbidden, and then I've got Eternal Idol in here. I thought we should have Eternal Idol in here. Have we not got that? I felt sure we had it. But anyway, I haven't got the cellophane to take off because I've been in here before. However, I wanted to show you just how good this is. Now, I like this album because I think if it were for a different production at the time, and Ernie C, famously, Ice-T's on there, and Ernie C from Body Count, who was, I mean, very popular. It was de rigueur at the time. Body Count were very popular. That kind of rap metal was popular. And, you know, of course, it's not as if, at the time, I don't remember thinking, well, they're just doing this because it's cheap. I didn't think that. I thought they're doing this because it's current. Great. However, it does have that authentic kind of thin sound of a. Is it authentic? I mean, Metallica went for it with Scent Anger. I happen to like that album as well. Listen, my favourite Queen album is Hot Space, folks. So yeah. There's a bit of a pattern here, isn't there? But I think this has got some superb stuff that's been overlooked, particularly The Illusion of Power. I love that. Great, great opener. And I think, actually, now it's been remastered, hopefully people will say, oh, blimey, it's a gem. Oh, blimey, it's a gem. They might say it like that. I mean, they could do, if they're posh. Oh, blimey, it's a gem. It's the most whimsical jape of the season. It's even better than when Joe Costa came out last week at the Debs Ball. That sort of thing. Do they still have Debs Balls? I don't know. Anyway, let me start by showing you what is in this box. This lovely box. Yeah. So there, great. And I always like it when a box set has this in it because it looks like, oh, you get a lot because you're going to need one of those that pulls it out for you. Pulls it out for you. Blimey, I can't touch you for it. Not with this box set anyway. So we've got the examples of what's here. And it is Super Deluxe Edition, 4 CD. So we don't have that one album, which is odd, isn't it? It's odd. But I'm going to be reviewing all the albums anyway. I will be, because I happen to like them, and I'm really glad that actually someone said, go on then. Do you remember Cross Purposes? No, I don't. See, right in the middle of this tenure for the cat, Mr. Martin, we've got Ronnie James Dio back again, haven't we, in 92? Yeah, doing a rather brilliant Fantastic Dehumanizer, which, I mean, I love that album very much indeed, but he was only back for one album. There were different kind of views as to whether or not that actually worked, and whether they thought, well, leave it there, shall we? Or whether it was just that there was, you know, people doing other things and all of that. He was asked back for Forbidden, wasn't he? That's Cross Purposes, Steve. He was asked back for Forbidden, wasn't he? So, no, it wasn't. For Cross Purposes, it was, wasn't it? Anyway, that's one of the reasons, I think, why people tend not to think of Tony Martin as being the kind of, as being the sort of, as being a Black Sabbath singer. I mean, it's not as brief as Ian Gillan, or, remember this, Dave Donato. Remember him? Do you remember him? Maybe I will do a podcast on this here YouTube thing about Dave Donato, because really, that was a cough and a spit, as we say in the acting trade. Well, I used to say in the acting trade, I don't now. Now, next bit, let's have a look what we got here. It's a booklet, ladies and gentlemen, very nicely done. Black on the, blue on the front and red on the back. What's in here? Oh, it's pics. Oh, that's lovely, actually. Very nice. Yeah, pics are lovely here. So we've got a bit of an explanation as to what's happening here. And then you've got the man himself, the Riff Lord himself, Tony Iommi. There's Mr. Martin, you see. Lovely pics. Really nicely done, actually. That's a good close-up of the hand movement. The hand movement. So and then we've got the different people who are involved. Tony Iommi, who he? Cozy Powell on drums, generally. There he is. Generally, in this area, in this era. Tony Martin, of course, the cat. And Neil Murray, actually, on bass. I mean, Neil Murray did an awful lot of work around this time. I mean, he, you know, really well-respected bassist and did an awful lot. And then, yeah, Jeff Nichols on keyboards, and often hidden, people say, behind curtains and things at the back of the stage. You couldn't really see him, but you could hear him. So, you know, we knew he was there, mate. Right. This is probably the meat of the whole thing, isn't it? This is the booklet. It's beautifully done. It's in none more black. As you can see, the answer is none. None more black. And this is the story of all of these albums. And you know what? It is a real story, because it's at the time when people were saying, Black Sabbath, are they still going? There was a bit of that, and there was a bit of sort of, well, you know, I can't really... Sometimes it wasn't an era where there was a lot of money flowing. Let's put it that way. So we had, you know, smaller budgets and all of that. And this will tell, well, it does. It does tell the story as Hugh Gilmore. And it's just lovely. So the whole thing is told. Look at that. You know, all this kind of... all the story of doing all of these at a period when Iommi was keeping the whole blooming thing going. I mean, in a really difficult time. I mean, you know, they'd also, just before Martin arrived, remember, they'd had Ray Gillan. I mean, he was there on Eternal Idol album. And it really, I suppose that's not here because it's not really a Jim, it's not Jim Martin. He was in Faith No More, Steve. A Tony Martin album. Really, I suppose it's kind of, it's not really that kind of, because the songs were already written, and already he had recorded some and there was a problem with payments. I understand. And, you know, Ray Gillen's not here to tell us any of this, you know, put his story. So it looked like Mr. Martin was brought in to sing those songs. I think he's very clear about that, if I remember rightly. But you've got the whole thing. It's a 50-page booklet, this. And it's beautifully done. Lovely pictures as well. And, you know, it's a story that's just album by album as well. It's a story that really needs telling. Metal Hammer. Oh, remember when it looked like that? I do. There'll be a Kerrang here as well, won't there? I'm sure. The press photos for Headless Cross. I mean, the thing... Oh, there it is. Kerrang. I remember when it was like that. Of course I do. When it wasn't a comic, some people say... I didn't say that. Some people say it. It's just online now. No, it's not, actually. You can get it in... You can get it in newsagents, can't you? If you want some posters for your wall. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Now, that's a great piece of kit. What's next? What's next here? Aha! This will be a rather large poster. And they've chosen... I don't know if you get different posters in different box sets, but this one is for Headless Cross. So it's the whole album cover there. There's nothing on the back. Let me just show you. Nothing on my sleeve. Nothing on the back. And that's quite a nice little moment, isn't it? Nice little thing. They don't overburden you with stuff here. A bit like the Bursting Out box set. They don't give you a lock of the hair and, you know, a used jock strap or anything like that. No, the next thing you get is the albums. Now then, let us see. These aren't gatefolds, which is a shame, actually, but they are nicely reconstructed. So there's your CD, and they're in a little pouch. Oh, it's the pouch, and you've got it all in there. It's nicely done. So you've got Headless Cross, you've got Tear, very nice, and the artwork redone. I would have preferred a gatefold, to be honest, but I love a gatefold, me. Always have. Sometimes with these things you get, oh, that's been gatefolded, nothing else was, but that was. You get cross purposes, which is a really good piece of work, and I think it's overlooked. Well, it blooming well is. Of course it is. Really nicely done. And then you get my favourite album from this era, which isn't gatefolded, sadly, but it is. It's Forbidden. The Illusion of Power. There it is. What a fantastic chorus that is. This is a really good box set. It's not, it doesn't knock your socks off. You're not going to say, oh my God, they'll never match that with any other box sets ever. But it's a nice box set. And actually, it's more than having the box. What this is, I'm putting it back together as I speak to you, because I want to hold it up, you see. It's not just having the box. It's having these albums recognised for the great albums that they are. Look at my fingerprints on there. Oh dear. It's about that. And it's about having these albums out there to say to people, well, you know what? These albums are available as well, you know, and they're blooming good. You might want to take a listen to them and see what you think, because it's not just Ozzy, it's not just Dio, and it's not just Ian Gillan. It's not. There's an awful lot more. Now, the Martin era came to an end when there were thoughts that they wanted to get back together with Ozzy. I mean, why wouldn't a band who was struggling financially, perhaps, why wouldn't they want to get back with Ozzy? Now, Geezer is brought back during this period as well, so it would be easy to do that, wouldn't it? And that is indeed what they do. Also, as a side issue, have a look at Eternal Idol and have a look definitely at Dehumanizer. I mean, it's the album that Dio did with them, which is just overlooked. And I think it's a fantastic, of its time, metal album. Well, it's a hard rock album, really, but Dio has just got that fantastic voice and that fantastic framing. And it's a great album, but so has Tony Martin. He really gives his all here. And the drama involved in these albums, actually, yeah, them rattle, they are authentic. And the drama involved in them, and I'll talk more about that when I'm reviewing the albums, one by one, urn by urn. I might put the Dio one in the middle of it, actually. The drama is incredible. And he really sells that and does it so well. And he shouldn't be overlooked. And hopefully now we've got this, Anno Domini, 1989 to 1995, hopefully nobody will ever again. I can only hope. Ta-ta.